everyone, and welcome back to another video. Well, it's a little bit quiet in the world of Formula 1 right now, so I thought, as someone requested it in one of my comment sections on one of my videos, I thought I'd do a little house tour. Of course, not going to do the whole house because that would be outrageous, but basically the stuff that I use to make my YouTube videos. Okay, so we start now with the office. This is basically my spare bedroom, which I use as the YouTube Empire office. Yes, this is the one. This is where all the magic happens. And I'm going to have to flick the camera around now and the microphone, so there'll be a slight pause as we flip the switch round. Okay, so I'd just like to start and say this is a small YouTuber's setup, so don't expect any neon flashing lights and big rigs and everything else. No, this is just a standard workman-like setup. Okay, so this is the backdrop that I use for the Hookster's talk. As you can see, I love you, Aurora. Yeah, so the camera sort of comes back a little bit further, and then I'm sitting in a chair in the front here, and then it pans to this backdrop, which I basically just sort of made myself with an old bookshelf that I found hanging around, and thought I'll put some of the old consoles that I've got on there. So we'll just zoom in on some of these consoles. Here is the beloved, of course, Super Nintendo console with Super Mario All-Stars. Fantastic, yes. All these consoles are fully working, by the way. They're not there just for show. They are fully working. They need to be powered up again, so I shall be doing that soon, very, very soon, to see and just make sure that they are still all working. This is a big box, and in this box is everything that you need for all these consoles, apart from the PlayStations. I've got power supplies for everything. Yeah, there's all the controllers, the power supplies, because of course back in them days you needed big brick power supplies to get it all powered up and everything, so they're all in there, so I know where they are. We come down now to the Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis if you're in the USA, yes, with Ayrton Senna's Super Monaco Grand Prix 2. Of course there wouldn't be anything else in there but that, would there? But yeah, she's all ready to go. Now of course this is a PlayStation 2, the slim model, and this is one of the very late models. They did do a later model that was only really sort of made in Japan, which had its power supply inbuilt. This is still the one with the separate power brick on it, but it is light as a feather. It really is. There's no weight to it whatsoever. It's one of the 7900 series for all those who are interested in this sort of thing. Yes, and I say it's one of the real later versions. It also plays all the versions of the rewritable discs, the plus R's and the minus R's, which some of the earlier models didn't do. So yeah, that's my baby. I use that for quite a few YouTube videos, but apart from that, I don't use it for anything else, to be honest. So she just sits up there on the shelf, and just below it we've got the original PlayStation 1. Yes, that's right, another one of my babies. I've got two of these, and as anyone who knows from the channel will know that I like to use original hardware in all my games, and this is what I use for capturing PS1 games. Of course I don't really need to, because I can just put them through the PlayStation 3, but sometimes some of the games don't work, so I have to use the old school PS1. And then on to, of course, the Nintendo 64, which has Star Wars Racer Revenge in it, or something like that. Anyway, there it is. Yes, I have got GoldenEye as well, yes, in case you're wondering. Well, hasn't everybody? Hasn't everybody? So there you go, that's that. And there's a few games underneath as well. These are mostly Mega Drive games. I've got cartridges for the N64, but they're sort of elsewhere. These are all Mega Drive games. This is, apart from Formula Park, it's very, very old now, Virtua Racing, the most expensive game I have ever bought. Well, at the time, this was, I think, 1993. If we can just see if the camera will zoom into that price tag on that. It was a bit faded, actually, so you probably can't see it. But I'll tell you what it says. It says £69.99, £70. £70 for a Mega Drive cartridge back in the day. I remember it took me at least a month to save up all my paper round money just to get this game, because it had a virtual racing chip in it or something, which made the graphics go all polygons, which is what we're so used to today. Yes, and I was just desperate to get this game. I really was, because obviously it's a racing game, so I would be, wouldn't I? So yes, there you go, Virtua Racing, 70 bloody quid, unbelievable. And we've got a few more down there: Outrun, Jurassic Park, and of course Sonic the Hedgehog, which basically came with every single Mega Drive you bought in the UK for free. Okay, so in these red boxes there's just a load of DVD films that I've actually got backups on my computer, so I don't actually use them. They're just there basically in case the computer goes tits up. Okay, so we move on now to the YouTube area. I've got an old laptop sitting there, got several old laptops lying around everywhere. So let's have a look now. This is area number 3, I like to call it. This is an old laptop that's been repurposed because the screen actually broke. So I've taken the screen off, as you can see, and I've got a little, this is a little 19-inch monitor, one of the original high-def monitors. It's only 900p or something like that anyway. It's one of the very original monitors, and I could use that with this computer. And over there I've got apart from a load of mess in the background, ignore that, I've got a very swanky memory card holder, or SD card holder. Very swanky indeed. Okay, so there's section number 3. Got a few tablets underneath, and if we go down to here, you will see this is my original computer that I ever had. It runs Windows XP, and it is still fully working at the moment. It's an E-Machines, it's a single core memory, so it can't do anything. And yes, all you young kids out there going, what the hell's that on the front? That is a floppy drive. Yes, that is a floppy drive. Yes, back in the day we were all into our floppies, I can tell you. But yes, it's still fully working. I keep it just for posterity, really. There's nothing I can really use it for, apart from the fact it has got 2 DVD drives in it, yes. But apart from that, there's not much I can use it for. Okay, so we scan off to the left. We've got some old tech now. We've got some old tech. We have 2 video recorders. Yes, ask your parents, ask your parents. 2 video recorders, an old DVD player, and actually a record player on the top there. Yes, that's a record player, everyone. Once again, ask your parents what that is and they'll tell you. Yes, so that's my sort of section 3, which is all the sort of the old tech that I've got at the moment. And this sort of stuff I've collected over possibly the last 20 years, to be honest. Yes, so don't go thinking I'm rich, because I definitely am not. Okay, so this is now, oh, just get you, we've got another microphone in here just in case we need it, but I don't really need it, or in a lot of mess behind once again, because being an office you get a lot of mess. Anyway, so we sit down a little bit. This is section 2. This is my laptop, which I use for basically making thumbnails for the videos. It's getting on a little bit now. It's a 2014 model HP Pavilion G6, if anyone's wondering. Yes, I did manage to put a new hard drive on it about a year ago, because it was really failing, but thankfully it brought it back to life again, so it's been really well. When I use it for the thumbnails, also I use it for checking people's comments on my YouTube videos. Everything really that you need is on the laptop, but I don't use it for making videos anymore, because I just think that it's past its best, and I don't really want to stress it that much, so it's used basically for everything else that's required for YouTube. So we've got an external keyboard for it as well, as you can see, a mouse, if you have a bits and bobs, and underneath there is just a load of books really, so there's not really much to see. Okay, so we scan across now to past my bed. This is the main YouTube setup. I might have to actually stand up for this and go back a little bit to scan down for it. So this is the main YouTube setup. We've got twin screens, 1080p screens. Of course, that's what you need if you're making YouTube videos. So you've got more screenage, so you can actually work on the videos a lot better. As I say, it's just a standard bit of kit. It's a HP Pavilion desktop. Yes, I'm not sponsored by HP, but if they want to send me one, thank you very much. It'd be very nice of you. I think they make great computers. Absolutely brilliant. Yes, never had a problem with them. Anyway, so there's the keyboard and the mouse, everything. We've got some speakers and some horrible cable management. Oh my goodness, that's just so wrong, that cable management. That's just so wrong. Anyway, so we go to the back. Now usually behind here we've got the camera, which I've got in my hand. This is my main PC. It's a HP Pavilion desktop. Unfortunately, it has developed a problem. It's got a fan error on it, but it is still working. But it is the computer I use mainly for YouTube, so I've just got to keep it going at the moment, because under lockdown there's basically nothing else I can do about it. Thankfully, it does still work. It just spins the fan up really fast when you first switch it on for the first few seconds, and then it dies down, which it's not supposed to do because it comes up with an error, but it does. But as I say, the fan isn't gone. It is still working, so I'm still going to use it until it blows up. Yes, or I can get it fixed when lockdown actually finally finishes. Okay, and over here is a backup computer. This is basically the same as this one, only just slightly older and in a more compact design. So if this one fails completely, I can automatically switch over to this one. Yes, if you're doing YouTube, it's always nice to have a redundancy. So because if you've got to spend about 3 days sorting out a computer, you're not getting any videos made. And so there's the problem, you see. So you just switch over to this one, and I've got basically most of this on this anyway, all ready to go, so I can start making YouTube videos again. And in the meantime, while I'm doing those videos, I can then try and sort out this one. That's how it works anyway. Always have a redundancy. If you're wondering what that is, well, just watch any Star Trek episode and you'll know what they mean about redundancies. You always need a backup. That's what you need. Anyway, just behind here, apart from a load of more mess, we've got, I think there's an old hard drive in there and lots of other creepy stuff. Creepy stuff. I don't know what that is, but there you go. Now, lots of people, of course, when they're streamers or using YouTube, they have everything in sort of one room. I didn't want that. I wanted it separate, so that once I leave this room, I can basically leave YouTube behind, if that makes any sense, because it can get a little bit tiring at times. So yes, so I like to leave it behind, and so where I do my recording for the videos is actually downstairs, and that's where we will now go to find out how we make the videos. So this is my front room, and this is where all the magic happens. So we've got a TV, nothing special, just an Argos special as usual. We've got the internet, we've got the PlayStation 4. This is the capture card that I use for capturing most of my footage for the games. This is a Ava Media portable live gamer, as everyone knows if they've got one themselves or they've seen it on Amazon. This one is the version that uses the memory card, which you plug in there, and that's what I use because I don't like really to have a computer in this room to start recording on. So I put everything that I record onto memory cards and then take them upstairs, and then I can edit them on the computer later. Now, I also have a Ava Media Live Portable Gamer, the light version, which is the version without the memory card, which is then hooked into this very, very old laptop here. That's basically, once again, a redundancy. So if this main one fails, now I've had this one since 2015, and fingers crossed she's still going okay, but if she fails like right now, then I can quickly switch over to this one. This backup I got very, very cheap on Amazon. They were doing a sale on this, and it was only $49.99 for this capture card, which is very, very cheap. So I snapped that up. So that is a redundancy, and it's waiting there. It only works with a computer, so you have to do it through the laptop, but that's not too bad. I've done it plenty of times before. So that's just sitting there waiting for this one to fail. At the moment she's still doing good, but I still use this occasionally for any other project that I want to, or something I want to do quick, I will do that. Anyway, load of DVDs, that's boring. Yeah, there they are. Couple of controllers. Here's some old school games, PS1 and PS2, as you can see. We've got all the classics there. All the classics, yes. Every single Formula 1 game that was ever released on PlayStation is somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. I've also got PS3, of course, and PS4, but they're behind me in another cupboard, and we don't need to see them. They're just boring. Because most of them are downloads now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And yes, I am a Star Trek fanatic. Shut it. Right. Let's continue. Over here we have a PlayStation Slim. This again was picked up very, very cheaply about, I don't know, quite a few years ago now. Probably about 6 years ago. Actually, Tesco's were selling them on Christmas Day for £99, and that was when they were actually full price. I think they were about £2.20, something like that. So I did snap that up because it was only £99, of course. So that's my PS3 Slim, Super Slim, in fact. I have to say I don't like these Super Slims. They're very, very horrible indeed. But you know, it's a PS3, so that's what you get. A couple of controllers there, of course. And now we come down. Now, of course, as anyone knows, I like to use original hardware. That's why I've still got all the original hardware right here. We've got a PS1. That's an old DVD player, don't worry about that. Virgin box. There's two PS2s we've got in there. Now, if I want to record anything from the PS4 or the PS3, I can use that capture card. Now, of course, if I want PS1 footage, I can use the PS3, because all PS3s, of course, play PS1 games. So the only one that isn't really permanently plugged in is the PlayStation 2, so I have to sort of have a little juggle around with some leads to plug in the PlayStation 2 if I want to record any footage. But that's basically it, and that's how I record all my videos really onto a Ava Media. It does pretty well. It only records at 30 frames a second, unfortunately, but it does do 1080p, so it's not too bad overall. So that's basically the setup, I have to say. Yes, it's nothing spectacular, as I've said earlier. This is all stuff that I've collected over quite possibly the last 20 years. I'm very, very reluctant, as you've probably seen in the video, to throw anything away, because if it still works, why not keep using it? And that's what I do with these consoles. If you've got consoles, you have to keep switching them on every now and again, otherwise they will seize up and you won't get to use them. Even if they've had no use, if you don't fire them up every now and again, they actually won't work. So it's best to keep these consoles going until eventually they break. Now, of course, PlayStation 2, that's my original PlayStation 2 Slim. I've actually put a new laser in that one, which I didn't think I'd be able to do because it's very, very fiddly, and the screws holding the laser in are very, very small for an old man. But I did manage it, and now I have to say it works perfectly, because it wasn't reading any discs before, but now it does. So I'm quite impressed that I managed to do that. Only £5 as well from Amazon for a new laser for the PS2. I would say though that if anyone's thinking of getting a new laser, because I have heard that a lot of people are now digging their PS2s out of their attics or lofts, if you want to put a new laser on it, I personally go for the complete carriage kit, which includes the laser and the runner that it runs on as well, because they're only about £15, and it's a lot easier because all you have to do is undo 4 screws and undo a connector plug, and then you can swap the laser and the whole unit over, which is a lot easier than what I had to do, because I had to actually disassemble the laser completely, which wasn't much fun, because as I say, the screws are, oh my god, they are so small, you cannot see it. I had to use a magnifying glass and everything. So anyway, there you go. That's what we did. We got a new laser, we got a spare PS2 down the bottom there as well. So I got 3 in total. I picked that one up at the bottom in off eBay, actually, just before the pandemic started. It was £12.99. Yes, £12.99. Now they're going for, oh my goodness, they're going for about 30 quid at the moment, because people are trying to cash in, of course, with the pandemic. But yeah, I was lucky there, got it very cheap. So there you go. Hope that was informative to you. That is the YouTube setup tour of the house. Sort of. Yes, just the 2 rooms that are relevant. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope that was semi-enjoyable anyway, and I'll catch you in the next video.